Hey guys, welcome to this Black Powder Battle Report in 15mm. So let's go over the forces. So the British, we have the Scots Greys, cannon, battalion, or 2 battalions, the cannon, general, another cannon, another battalion, 95th Rifles, and another brigade commander. We go over to the French. We've got column of French cannon, cavalry, another column, a couple more cannons, and some more French over there. So let's roll off to see who's going to get the first turn. So the French are black and the English are white. So the English have the first turn. Okay, so just done the British movement. The Scots Greys managed to make 1 move. This battalion got 2 moves and the cannon got 1 move. And then if we come around here, this brigade commander issued a brigade order to both these battalions, well, this whole brigade that includes the 2 cannons, and they got to make 2 moves. But the cannons obviously only make 1. And then the brigade commander for the 95th Rifles, they managed to get 3 moves, so they've moved right up into the woods. So I'm then doing the French movement, which I've just done, and both columns got 3 moves, so they've managed to push up, and the cavalry got 3 moves, got 2 moves, so they've pushed up. Generals stayed there, we didn't need him for a re-roll, and then the French line got 1 move, and this cannon here managed to make 1 move. So no blunders or anything. So we're going to go straight into the shooting for the British. Okay, so the British artillery, first cannon is going to take a shot into the French column here. So it's at long range, so we get 1 shot on a 5. Long range 6, but we're shooting into a column, so it goes back down to a 5. So here we go. Nope, a 3. Moving on to the next cannon, this one, shooting into the second column. They need a 5. And they miss. And then lastly, this cannon here will take a shot at the cavalry. Now it's at medium range, so it's going to be 2 shots on 4s, but it is obscured, so it's going to be on 5s. So here we go, 2 shots on 5s. 1 hit, it's a 6, so the cavalry are disordered. So we'll put a disorder marker on the cavalry. So we'll put that behind them to show that they are disordered. They need to make their save, so they normally save on a 3. So it's pushed to a 5. And they managed to make it, so no casualties for the cavalry. So that's it for the British shooting, nothing else is in range. So we'll go over to the French. Okay, French shooting. This cannon is going to fire across into this battalion. It's at long range, so we're going to need a 6. Nope, nearly on a 5. The second cannon, which is here, sorry guys, trying to focus, is going to shoot across into the deployed battery there. So it's going to be on a 6. Oh, nearly. And then this cannon will do the same thing, trying to shoot across at the British cannon. No, and he misses as well. So I'll go back into the movement. Okay guys, so just want to explain one thing. After each turn happens, I've put a spin on where each player rolls for initiative. So I've rolled off again at the end of the first turn, and the French got the initiative. So they have managed to do their movement. So they managed to push up in column, 3 moves again, and they are really close to the Brits now. So there's going to be some firing going on. Obviously the cavalry couldn't move because they're disordered. the French line got one move. This cannon pushed up a bit, and this general is meant to be here. Then the Brits done their move. Now the Scots Greys attempted to charge this column, needing two moves, and they failed. The general was not in range for a reroll, so that brigade can't do anything at all. This general issued an order, brigade general, to this battalion to make one move, which it did, and then he attempted to move the cannon and failed, so the rest of this brigade cannot move, and the 95th Rifles failed as well. But the French had the initiative, so we'll go straight into their shooting. Okay, so this first column is going to fire into this battalion. It needs a 4. It gets one shot because it's in column. They miss. The second column will shoot into that battalion as well, needing a 4. They've disordered them. So we'll get another marker quick. Bear with me. So they are disordered and they need to make a save. So a save of 4+. And they make it. So no casualties at all yet. The cannon, this cannon here, is going to fire into the cavalry at long range. So it's going to be a 5. And they disorder the cavalry, the Scots Greys. So we'll put a puff of smoke behind the Scots Greys, and they need to make a save. So it's normally on a 4 but pushed to a 5. And they save. This is unbelievable. Wow. Okay, moving on to the next cannon. Now, they cannot fire through to the battalion behind the house, but they're going to have a crack at firing over into this deployed cannon here. So it's normally a 5 at long range, but because it's a deployed gun, we need a 6. So here we go. Nope, misses. And this cannon will do the same thing again, needing a 6. No, missed. So some okay shooting from the French. They've disordered the Scots Greys and this battalion. So we'll go into the British shooting. Okay, so this battalion is going to open fire into this column on the left hand side. Now they get 3 shots, but they got first fire, so they're going to get an extra dice because it's the first time they're firing. They're hitting on 4s, but they're disordered, so they're hitting on 5s. And they miss. Wow. Some awful shooting there. This battalion that's behind the house here is going to fire into this column, and they get the same thing. 4 dice because it's the first time they're firing. And they need 4s though because they are not disordered. And they get 1 hit. So the column will get a save of 4+. And they saved it. That is, every save so far has been saved. It's just ridiculous. Okay, so cannon firing. This deployed gun here, which is a bit worried because he's got a battalion disordered and a cavalry unit disordered. They're going to fire straight into the column. So it's 2 shots, medium range on 4s, but they're shooting into a column, goes down to 3s. So this could be nasty. And they get 1 hit. So that pushes the column's save up to a 6. So they need a 6 to save. No, they fail. So at last we get a casualty. So they've taken 1 casualty. Now the next cannon is this guy here. He has enough of a gap to fire through into this column. 2 shots on 4s, but it's going to be 3s because they are in a column. So let's see what happens. Awful. Okay. And they're moving across this cannon. 2 shots on 4s into the cavalry, which are not disordered now. That should should have come off after their movement, sorry. But they're going to be on 4s. And they miss. Some awful shooting from the Brits. And that is it. So they managed to cause 1 casualty. Not great. So I'll just show now. There's no close combat, so it's the end of the turn. So you roll for initiative again. So this is just a little spin I've put on it. So black is the French, white is the British. And the French get initiative again, so they're going to be able to do their movement first and shooting. Okay guys, so the French movement, both the columns formed into line. The cavalry attempted a charge, needed 3 moves and was successful. Now the British battalion rolled to form square and they rolled double 1. So they cannot form square, they must take the charge at the halt. So they're in trouble and they're disordered. This French line managed to move up, and the cannons are moving up slowly at the back of the field. Now for the British, obviously the Scots Greys were disordered. These guys got charged. These guys managed to move over because they want to get shots onto these French that just formed line. And then the battalion here didn't move, and the 95th Rifles got 2 moves again, so they're going to be able to fire this turn. So I will go straight into the French shooting. So this French line shooting into this battalion, it's close range, so they're going to hit on 3s. That's 3 hits, so 3 saves of 4+ for the Brits, and they save them all. I don't know what's going on with all these saves today. And then this battalion will fire into the Scots Greys on 4s. 2 hits, so the Scots Greys will save on 4s, and they fail both, so they've taken 2 casualties. I'll just grab a dice. So they take 2. Okay. Cannon firing, long range shot from this cannon into the Scots Greys. It's going to be on a 5 for long range. Nope. This cannon will shoot across into that battalion at long range on a 5. Missed. And then this cannon does not have any valid targets. Okay, so let's go into the British shooting. We're going to get 3 shots from this battalion into the French. Close range, hitting on 3s. Wow! Awful shooting from the Brits. They missed every single one. That's no good. This cannon, medium range into that line, hitting on 4s, 2 shots. They've missed double 1s. So double 1s, I've added in a little rule that if you roll double 1 when firing cannons at medium range or close range, you're low on ammo, so this cannon cannot fire next turn. So the next cannon, 45-degree angle, shooting across at these guys. Medium range, but they do have slight cover from the hedges, so we're hitting on 5s. Nearly double 1s there. This is terrible shooting. And then the 95th Rifles get 3 shots, and they're going to put all 3 shots into the line here. And they're hitting on 3s because they're 95th Rifles, always hit on 3s. They disorder them, and they get 2 hits. So let's just do the saves. So on 4s, they fail both. So they've taken 2 casualties. Just get dice. So there's 2. And they are disordered. So we'll put a little bit of smoke behind them as well to show they're disordered. Okay, so not great from the Brits. So now we will go into this close combat, and also off camera I done the closing fire and they caused no casualties on the cavalry. Okay, so we're going to get 7 attacks from the cavalry, and they're hitting on 3s because they charged. Okay, that's quite a few hits. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. So 5 saves of 4+ for the Brits. Ouch. So they've taken 4 casualties. So they're shaken and 1 over. So that's 4 casualties. Now they get 6 attacks back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But they are shaken or disordered. So they are hitting on 5s instead of 4s. And they cause 2 hits. And the cavalry will save on 3s. And they fail both. So the cavalry take 2 casualties. The Brits have lost by 2. So they are going to be testing. And they are shaken. They are disordered and they are 1 over being shaken. So they're on a -2 to their break test. So we're on 6, 7, 8. So an 8 at close combat. I think they're fine. So an 8. I'm just looking, guys. Hang on. Infantry. The unit holds its ground. The unit remains where it is and will continue fighting in the following round of combat. So the Brits are lucky there. They got away with that. So, as that's the end of the turn, we will roll initiative again. So, French is the black, Brits are the white. So it's the French again. Okay guys, French movement. This line managed to charge into the British battalion. Closing fire caused no casualties. This line with 1 casualty moved round because they want to get shots into the flank of the Brits. This line was disordered, so they couldn't do anything. And the cannons have all stayed still. So I will come back after I've done the British movement. Okay, British movement. These guys managed to get 1 move. So they've moved up close to this French line. The 95th Rifles got 1 move. So they've moved out the building and they're looking to take out the cannon crew. Now over here, the Scots Greys attempted to charge this French line. They blundered. But on the blunder table was charged the nearest enemy unit. So they formed, the French rolled to form square, which they were fine, no disorder or double ones, so they're fine. So we will go straight into the French shooting. Okay, 3 shots, close range, from this cannon into the 95th Rifles. So it would be on 3s, but we're shooting at skirmishers, so it's a +1, so we need 4s. We've disordered them and we've got 3 hits. So they need 3 saves of 6+. They save 1 and take 2. So they're already at 2 and their stamina is 2. So they're 4. So they're going to be testing. And they're disordered. Sorry guys. I'm just seeing if anyone else was going to fire at them, which they're not. So we'll do their break test now. So it's -2 because they are 2 over their stamina. So they're 4, 5, 6. 6 from shooting. The unit holds its ground and stays where it is. So the 95th are lucky. So that goes back down to 2. Okay, this cannon is going to fire across at the deployed British gun over there, so that it needs a 6. Nope. And this cannon will fire across into the Scots Greys at long range. Now that's a hit. So the Scots Greys will save on a 5. They do not. So they are shaken. And they've been shaken by artillery, so they need to test. So a normal test, no minuses. We'll do it here. They are fine, absolutely fine. Okay, so that is it for... Oh no, sorry, it's not. We got some shots here now. These guys are disordered, and they're going to shoot into the battalion in the field. So they're hitting on 5s. and they miss. So we'll carry on into the British shooting. So this gun is going to fire at medium range into the square. So it'd be on 4s, but because they're in square, it's going to be on 3s because we get a +1. And we get 2 hits. So the square will save on 6s. They failed both. So they have been shaken by artillery because they already had 1. So they're going to be testing now. So no minuses. So they are fine. Everyone's passing their brake test at the moment. Okay, and then this gun over here is going to fire into the line here, but it's going to be on 5s at medium range. There's 1 hit, so the French line will save on a 6. No, they fail. So they've gone 1 over, being shaken, so they will be testing. And they are on a -2 because they're disordered as well. So a -2 to this result. What have we got? We've got a 6. -2 is 4. They have been destroyed. The first unit to be destroyed. So that is 2 victory points to the British. The Brits take the lead. Okay, the 95th Rifles are going to fire into this cannon, hitting on 3s. But they are shaken. So they'll be hitting on 4s, but it goes back down to 3 because they're at close range. So we get 3 shots hitting on 3s. We get 2 hits, so the cannon needs 2 saves of 4+. He's failed both, so he only has a stamina of 2, so he's gone over being shaken. So he's going to be testing, and he is on a -1. 6, 7, 8. So he holds it. Oh, actually, it's artillery, isn't it? So I think he might be gone. Let's just double check. So an 8 for artillery. The unit breaks and is deemed destroyed. Remove the unit from the field. So that's another 2 points for the British. So it's 4-0 to the Brits. So into this close combat for the cavalry and this battalion. So the cavalry gets 7 dice. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they are hitting on 4s. Because they did not charge this turn, but they've still got 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. So 4 saves, for the British. And they don't save any. So they are that should have gone back down to 3. So they've gone 4 over. So they're on 7. Okay, and they will attack back with their 6 dice. 3, 4, 5, 6. But they are shaken, so they're hitting on 5s. But they get 3 hits, and the cavalry will save on 3s. They save 2. So they've become shaken, the cavalry. But the Brits are testing with a -4. -4 leaves us with 4. The British have been destroyed. So it is 4-2 to the Brits, because you get 2 points for every unit destroyed. So the infantry can take ground if they want to. I think they're just going to change facing. Okay, so the cavalry just changed facing on the spot to try and charge the Scots Greys next turn. Now on to this fight. The French charge, so they're going to get 6 attacks. And they are hitting on 3s. So they get 3 hits. So the Brits will do 3 saves of 4+. They fail all of them. So they are 1 over being shaken. So they take 3 and they will attack back with 6 attacks, but they are disordered, so they're hitting on 5s. And they only get 1. So a save of 4+ for the French, which they fail. So the French take 1 casualty. But the Brits have lost by 2. And they're going to be testing. So on a -2, their break test, the British. Oh, they're gone. So it's 4-all now. The Brits have been destroyed. Another battalion. Okay guys, so I'm going to call the game there. It is a British victory. A 6-4 victory. The square that was here was wiped out by cannon fire and they failed on their break test. So yeah, that's the last turn. So British victory. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I like playing it in 15mm. It's good. Obviously I've got a smaller size table, but that's the ideal thing with 15mm, that I can play in a smaller space as well. So hope you guys enjoyed. As always, comment, like and subscribe, and up next will be a sharp practice battle report. Okay, cheers guys.